What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Average Fan, and in today's video, I have a banger for y'all. So this video is very special to me. I put a lot of time into this video, thoughts into this video. So it is a tips video on just things and aspects across the game. This is for anybody. You could just be in the game. You could be good at the game. Just anybody in general who plays this game. This is all for y'all. So with that being said, to start this off, my very first tip is anchoring. Now, a lot of people do not use anchoring, and some people do. If you are one of those people who struggle at hitting certain pitches, put your PCI anchor to where you struggle the most. And I'll give you an example. If there's a right-handed batter, use the PCI at the end of the strike zone if you struggle on outside pitches. So say a fastball. Those are the hardest to hit on legend difficulty, on Hall of Fame difficulty. Hardest pitch to hit is the outside fastball. If you struggle to get there or get your timing correct, put it on the outside of the plate. You don't have to sit there the entire time. You can move your PCI anywhere else. Just have it anchored. So if that pitch comes, it will move your PCI faster to that location. So that's the first tip I have. The second tip is everyone knows that this game is dog water at pitching. So when you pitch, look at the par. Don't look at the ball. Say if you use pinpoint. Don't look at the ball, look at the par of your pitch. Don't expect your pitch to go where the ball is. Just the par or a little outside of the par. Never expect it to be perfect, even if you have a perfect release. If you're struggling seeing the par off an example pitch trail, then you could switch to Chevron, which will show you even more of how big the par is for the pitch on whatever pitch is selected. If you want a smaller par, you want a pitcher that has high base per balls, that has high hits per nine, and high control. That's what you want to look for. It will help you dot pitches more and not throw as many balls. So the third tip is a lot of people are fans of players in real life. As an example for me, I'm a big fan of Mark McGwire. He's a Cardinals legend. Cardinals is my favorite team. But on this game, I will never use him because he is horseradish. He can't hit inside sinkers. He can't hit inside fastballs. He just needs to go on a bench. He needs to pack his bags, and he needs to go. Because he does nothing for the team, doesn't benefit the team. He's hard to hit the ball with. But in another example, Mike Trout. Mike Trout has an amazing swing. In this game, he can hit inside pitches, outside pitches, on Hall of Fame, on Legend, on All-Star, on any difficulty. He can get to the ball better than what a Mark McGwire would. Make sure that if you see pitches inside, swing early. Don't swing the same speed that you would as a pitch down the middle or as a pitch on the outside of the zone. It is different timing windows on every difficulty. This doesn't go for one specific difficulty. This goes for every difficulty there is. With that being said, swing early on inside. Hold back on outside pitches. It doesn't matter if it's the same pitch. It's easier to hit the ball and time it in that timing window if you wait back on outside pitches, swing early on inside pitches. Every time you're at the plate, just remind yourself about that. My fourth tip is be patient and take pitches. I don't know how many times players don't do the best at the plate because they get in their head or they swing too early, too late, because they're not looking for specific pitches or being patient. You don't want to swing at pitches that are dots. Let them be dots. Let them go by. Let the pitcher do his thing when it comes to that. You want pitches that are called mistake pitches. That is what you want, and you want to capitalize off of that. Wait in the middle of the zone, a little lower, a little higher, just in the middle of the zone, not the corners. And look in that area, because more than likely the pitcher will make a mistake throw. Maybe not to the first batter, most likely to the second batter. In a single game, you have 27 at-bats and over 90 pitches seen. You can guarantee yourself at least 1 to 2 runs just being patient, even more. So if you're struggling at the plate or you're struggling to put runs up, look into that. To add on to that, another thing is a lot of people that I've noticed pitch how they are weak. So if they think, oh, I can't hit an inside sinker, then they're going to spam inside sinkers. If they think, oh, it's the hardest pitch to hit is a backdoor cutter at the bottom of the zone, they're going to spam those pitches. If they get you multiple times on the same pitch, or you see that they're hitting the same spots on a 2-3 count, on a 2-2 count, whatever it is, when you have 2 strikes and you're supposed to protect, most likely they're going to go to those pitches again and capitalize off of them, because it will only benefit you and it will confuse them on what pitches to throw to you next. Tip number 5 is follow the ball out of the hand. Don't focus on your PCI. I know that it's hard not to do that at first when you start learning how to hit better, but that is one of the biggest things that, for me personally, that I struggled with. I would look at the PCI more than the release of the hand. Find a PCI that works for you. Don't use PCIs that other people use. If it does not work for you, you have plenty of time to go into the lab, into custom practice, try different PCIs, different movements. Whatever you can do to get better, do that. Focus on the ball out of the hand. Whatever PCI helps you see that, go to that and practice, and I promise you the ball will be coming in a lot better. When you look at pitches out of the hand, fastballs are straight. They're straight out of the hand. Same thing with sinkers. When it comes to an off-speed pitch, you'll see a curve in the pitch. It'll go upwards, an upwards angle. Not a straight angle, but an upwards angle. Tip number 6 is try to make your opponent run out of energy as fast as you can. So for those of you who don't know, when a pitcher runs out of energy, it makes them not able to dot pitches. It makes you easier to hit the ball. Your balls go further when you hit it. It's easier to see the ball. Just everything is on your advantage. You have the full advantage. If you use all the steps that I said before and you use it while you're at the plate, it only benefits you. You don't lose. I try to get the pitcher to 25 pitches every inning, or a long 20 pitches, so that I know that I have an upper hand to my opponent, and eventually that pitcher is going to be taken out. Now, say if they bring in a pitcher you know that you struggle against more than all the other pitchers, watch. Just watch. Even if it's a strike, just watch and use the same steps I told you and do your very best to get them out of the game so you have more of an advantage for yourself. There's different ways to base run that a lot of new players don't really know, but with your analog stick you can select the base runner that you want. You could choose the specific runner on the bag, so that way you don't send them all. So say if there's a runner on third, you want to use your left analog stick for Xbox and put it towards the runner at third and send him, and with the left analog stick point it to, say there's a runner at first, point it to him and go back to first. So that way not both run and you don't get caught up with the other runner while one runner scores. Basically, lead runner is where to go to first, the trail runner is where to go to second, and the guy who hits is last. You want to make sure when you do that, if you have people on the bag, you want your lead runner to go first in all of that. Make sure that he's good and go from there. Tip number 8, certain players have push tendencies. Some have pull tendencies. Find the way that you like to hit and choose the batters that have those tendencies that are best for the swings that you make, that you feel comfortable with, It really helps in certain situations. Tip number 9. When your opponent gets on the bag, pay attention to the runner. Take your time pitching. It will make your opponent more impatient, meaning don't just pitch the ball right away. Wait. Do different windups. Do different things so it's harder for them to steal and read off of when your leg lifts for them to even steal the bag. If they have a runner on second, for example, go to the defensive position. It will be in your pause menu. Have the shortstop cover second base, so if the runner does lead off, then you can pick them off. The second they lead off, just pick them off. And it will be an out every time, and it's truly automatic, honestly. So for those of y'all who don't know how to do it, all you have to do is push the left trigger in the base that the runner is on. Another thing that could help is like slide stepping. Now, I wouldn't condone doing that, but if it's for you in certain situations, do it. Play to win. That's how you play the game. It's baseball. Tip number 11, always stay calm when you're at the plate. Keep your mind and everything steady. Keep your thoughts and good positivity. If you get out, you get out. That's okay. It will help you incredibly. I promise you that. You have a lot more time than you think. The game of baseball is really slow. And just because it's a higher difficulty, say, oh, it's your first time on Hall of Fame, or oh, it's your first time on Legends, that's okay. Just take a step back. The ball still comes in the same from the windup. The windup will always be the same no matter what difficulty you're on. The only difference is the speed of the ball. So just be prepared for the speed of the ball, but understand you still have the same time on the windups. Basically, it doesn't change the time that you have before the pitch on any difficulty you're on. Tip number 12 is use stadiums that are best for you. Basically, it doesn't change the time that you have before the pitch on any difficulty you're on. Tip number 12 is use stadiums that are best for you. If you pitch great but can't hit, use a field with low elevation. If you can hit though, play at a higher elevation stadium. Just do what benefits you and your play style. Tip number 13, have a routine at the plate. Just like real life, get comfortable, find the routine that fits you. It's just like when you go up to bat in baseball, every batter has different routines. Do yours. I promise you, it will change your perspective. It'll change your mindset. It will help you get more locked into the game, making you make more incredible swings and just do better overall. Those of y'all who don't have one yet, go to custom practice and figure out your routine at the plate. And whenever you find it, I promise you, it will work. Tip 14. This is about different difficulties. Like on all-star difficulty, you can foul balls off a whole bunch more than, as you could say, Hall of Fame or Legend. Certain pitches are harder to hit on certain difficulties. Play to your advantage and on whatever difficulty it is. If you know there's a lot of foul balls and you're in a 2-strike count on all-star, if you're not sure about the pitch and you got to protect, swing. Try to foul it off, so maybe the next pitch you will be able to see. Tip number 15, use players with good swings. Don't use players just because, oh, everybody uses them. It's not going to work for you sometimes, and sometimes it will, but just find people whose swings are good for you because you'll feel more confident. You'll do better at it. Just find what's best for you. Tip 16, the second you start pitching, when the game begins, have your bullpen ready. That is big. That is vital. You need to do that. At least have one person with outlier, a cutter, a sinker, a slider, just some sort of meta pitcher in this game. If they don't have, say, the outlier fastball, then it's okay to just have somebody with an outlier sinker. Now, say that you don't have that, and say the only cards that you have are people who just dot pitches. That's perfectly okay. Just make sure they have high BB and control. Pay attention to your opponent and what they struggle against. say they're all over the outlier, bring someone who throws slower. As an example, one of my closers I use is Tyler Rogers. He can dot, he has a weird delivery. It really helps in certain situations. Vice versa, if they suck at hitting outlier, bring in someone who's really good at outlier, like Felix Bautista. Just read your opponent and make sure that they're on standby and ready for when you need them. Tip 17 is understand that the game gives and takes. You could hit a perfect home run and then a perfect out. Just don't celebrate, because you can get a lead off of one home run and you could lose it all, because, as I said before, the game gives and takes. Just stay focused, stay in the game, and remember that it only takes one swing to change the entire game from you or your opponent. Tip number 18 is a big tip that a lot of people get very confused, and I don't understand why, but I'm here to explain to y'all. Warming up and practicing in custom practice, they're two completely different things. A warm-up is going into custom practice before you hop into a ranked game, so a couple minutes, maybe like 10 minutes, just to get refreshed. Practice is a day-by-day thing where you're working on pitches and different types of swings and things like that to 100% be at your best performance. Tip number 19 is get control freaks. Control freaks will change your game. They will help you not slam your PCI. They will help you be able to catch up to pitches that you can't even normally catch up to without them. Big game changer. If you don't have them, I would get them. Also helps improve, to help yourself improve, is to play on a monitor. 120 hertz is the best that you could do. The game will be a night and day difference. Like, truly a night and day difference. It will help you be at the best potential that you actually could be. Tip number 20 is be selective on pitches. Know that the main pitches out there are cutters and sinkers. You're going to see it a whole bunch, but you have 9 innings to see those pitches. A lot of people go to them just like you will when you pitch. Be ready for them and watch how certain pitches move so you can catch on to it. Tip number 21. This is a tip that I did and it helped me a whole bunch. This is a personal tip, is clip swings that are good. So whenever you make a crazy swing or you're like, how did I do that? Make sure to clip those. Look back on those swings. See how you made those swings, where you moved your PCI at the last second before the ball came in. Maybe you changed something up a little different. Try to use that into the main source of when you do swing or when you do go at bat. It might help you completely change up your routine and be even better. It's more of an instinct thing, and it will only help. Tip number 22. If you're struggling a lot, like with the tips that I gave, and it's not helping, another part that you could go to is tempo, and a lot of top players use tempo. And if you don't know what tempo is, it's basically watching the leg of the batter before the pitch while hitting. An example, Mike Trout has it, Will Smith has it. It's when the leg kicks up. If they are lifting their leg up early, it means that the pitch is either a cutter, a sinker, or a fastball. If you see that their leg is delayed in the motion, it means it's an off-speed pitch, like a circle change, a slider, things along those lines, a curveball. So basically, it's a cheat code. If you get into custom practice and you find players that have the leg kicks and you learn their leg kicks, you could actually know what pitches are coming before the pitch comes to the plate. That's a big advantage. It will help you. It's hard to do, but if you put in the time and effort, you will be able to do it. Tip 23, play the game. You won't win every game. You'll go on winning streaks. You'll go on losing streaks. The more games that you play, the better you will be. It's just like anything in life, anything that you put your time into and effort in, it's just play the game. Understand that your record doesn't matter. No one cares about your record. You could beat anybody. Anybody can beat you. Just be humble about it and put in the work. And I promise that the more games you play, the better you'll be. Stealing bases. So when you steal the base, make sure that the pitcher's leg goes up. And the second that you see it going up towards the plate, that's when you want to go. Advantage to have over other people. When you are stealing the base, on your controller, you can aim it to the right with your right stick. And when you're sliding in a second, it will give you like an animation to slide away from the tag instead. When it's a throw from the outfield, you need to make sure to throw away from where the ball is coming from. So say if the ball is coming from right field, move it to the left. If it's coming from left field, move it to the right. So my last tip for y'all today is, once you hit a slider off of a pitcher, most likely the pitcher will throw a fastball, the very first pitch, or a sinker. It is just something that they do. I don't know why they do it, but it's something that I've caught on to, and a lot of people do it. Just keep that in mind. But those are the tips that I have for y'all. I took a lot of time into this video. I hope that all these tips helped. I hope it helps you improve. That's it for me. I appreciate all the support. I'm out, y'all. Peace.